was important to me the first time I had a really amazing oolong in China, and I remember thinking, how could tea cost $100? And then I drank that tea and it was amazing. I wasn't in the least bit questioning why it was expensive. I was like, this is amazing tea.
I met her through my old boss. He was always telling me about this crazy tea lady that had the best tea.
Tea's everything to me. It's not a symbol, it is. It's my life, it's what I do, it's almost who I am, it defines me. I don't think of it as a product. I think of it as a plant, as part of the world, as part of people's lives, the people who make it, the people who drink it, and it connects me to everything.
I think she's crazy, full stop. I mean, when you look at it on paper, when she used to work in the city, and then she decided to jack that in to start selling loose leaf tea. I mean, if that's not crazy, then what is?
I had an amazing apartment in New York City, right by Central Park, and my life seemed quite exciting, but my actual work wasn't at all. And I didn't really feel like I was achieving anything apart from money. When I look back over my life and those years when I worked at corporate America, I can't really tell you that. There's no detail. Whereas if you asked me to tell you what a tea farm was like, and I could tell you every single detail, or what the journey was like from Bodagra to Lakrasaivu. That life is so rich and full and vivid that I wanted a more vivid life, and I wanted to feel like I did something useful. And I had this plan, I set up a tea company, I was learning about tea, travelling to tea gardens, spending a lot of time. I kept on researching and then thinking, well, I need more money, I need more time, and always putting it off a little bit. And then my dad got sick, he got cancer, and he was about to retire and had all these beautiful plans, but he died within 3 months. And I thought, okay, if you're going to do this, you better bloody do it. And I did it. Looking at now, we have a company that sells tea all around the world, and we have customers like Waitrose. It looks like, great, easy. But 14 years ago, God, honestly, it was like banging your head against a brick wall. I was so naive about how a business would be run and how I would find customers and how I would get it out there. There was no market for what I sold. So it's not just a new company, but a new market. So I wanted to bring people beautiful leaf tea, and they were like, well, I don't know what it is, but it's not a tea bag. What the hell is that stuff you put in front of me? It's just insane what I thought. I'd been like crazy. But also, I got cancer 3 months after I'd signed the contract to buy my first tea. If I hadn't had tea and the tea business to pull me through, it would have been very hard. It helped me through with a lot of treatment at the beginning, a lot of years of trying to get through because it was quite a serious cancer. It gave me a focus outside of being ill, going to hospital, having horrible treatments. It gave me something to build, something to do, something to be the tea lady rather than the sick lady. At first, when I started Rare Tea, it was about flavour. I wanted to bring amazing quality teas to the UK, and I didn't really understand much about the trade. I just went to find it, brought it back. I'd been in logistics. And as I learnt more and more about tea and went to India and Africa and Sri Lanka, I realised that there was so much more that could be done, and that an ethical business, a new model could be forged. But yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed to tell you that at first my revolution was only about flavour, and now what drives me forward is trying to make a better world for tea farmers. I didn't really understand that at the beginning, back in 2004. So I've learnt from them. When you sit with people in their houses, when you go out on the fields with them, when you really learn what their needs are and the world they live in, the scales fall for your eyes. It's just, it could be devastating to learn these things if you believe that that's the way the world was. I reckon this one is the highest level of cumin.
So she will talk about one tea, and she will tell you the name of the farmer, their kids' names, how they look like, what they wore when she met them, what she ate with them, what tea they drank. She will tell you all of that. And we have 150 teas.
Well, I think it's got to be good in 3 ways. It's got to taste amazing, it's got to be good for your body, and it's got to be good for the people who make it. So I believe in organic tea, and all my tea is organic. It's just that it's not certified. It's more important than a stamp. And when you've got a tiny garden in the middle of nowhere, they've got no computers and no electricity, you cannot expect them to get, expensive and complicated certification. So we get our tea tested in Switzerland, so I know it's organic and clean, and I know it's way more than organic. It's sustainable on every level. And sustainability is not just for the land, but it's for community. And it's not about the label for fair trade. We took that off too. 80% of the revenue, roughly, was going to fair trade to run their own organisation. And it just didn't seem really that fair to us. So we decided to put a direct part of the revenue back to the farms. And I asked the people on the farm that is the most underprivileged area, which is in Malawi, what would you want for their kids? And they said a better future and educational opportunities so they could have a different life. Every parent's dream is their children will have a better life and a good future. So we set up our own charity called Rare Charity, which sends a percentage of revenue back to the farms for tertiary education. Yeah, if I was going to sum it into one phrase, my mission would be to get people to appreciate tea like wine. Then farms in East Africa could thrive like a vineyard in France. In China, tea is very highly valued, so it has a good price, and the people who work on tea farms do pretty well. As soon as I started to go to India and Africa, it's right there in front of you. There's people really struggling to survive. When the world understands that tea is like anything and has value, then I will be successful. Then I will retire and do nothing at all. I work so hard, so many hours, so many trips, and I'm kind of not there yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Got to work harder to get there.